Thank you all for coming. I'm going to speak first tonight, and then we'll have a number of speakers who we will pass over to, and then we're happy to take your questions after we've all spoken. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Jason Brolin. I'm the Fire Chief of West Kelowna Fire Rescue. I want to thank you all for being here and helping us get the message out, which is a very important one to the public. We knew today was going to be challenging. I started 24 hours ago saying that and spreading word to the public that we needed to treat this fire seriously. All of the predictions we expected came true. The winds that we were forecast arrived, and it proved to be a very challenging day for firefighters and for our community as a whole. This fire has quickly grown. We did expect it to grow quickly, and I don't fail to be amazed by what we're seeing taking place right on the doorstep of our community. I want to give credit to all of the firefighters who are out there. We have firefighters from multiple agencies on the ground today. Our partners at the BC Wildfire Service are delivering in spades for our community, as are structural firefighters, not only from West Kelowna Fire Rescue, but from fire departments across the region. Firefighters were faced with challenging conditions on the fire today. They were removed from their posts on multiple occasions for their own safety. Places could not be found in order to anchor and fight this fire. I'm fortunate to stand alongside my counterpart from the BC Wildfire Service in Unified Command. We are working seamlessly together in order to stop this fire from affecting our community. This is just like we trained, this is just like we practiced for, and now we're putting the plan in place. I am happy to report that there have been no losses so far. I'm also happy to report that there have been no injuries to firefighters. Those are two really positive metrics for me at this point. But that said, I remain gravely concerned for the fire and where it's going and how it's going to threaten our community. Tonight's going to be a difficult night. Our people are out there working hard. We are not giving up. But it's going to be a difficult night for the community. We have close to 2,500 people who I've asked to leave their homes, and we have close to 6,000 who are on evacuation alert. I've asked them to get ready. It will be difficult for them. The fire is going to be very dramatic tonight. As it gets dark, the fire is going to look like it is right on top of the community. It's going to burn well into the early hours of the morning. There'll be glow and huge flames visible along the top of the hill. We're monitoring it constantly, but I need the public to be aware it's going to be dramatic what you see. There will be ash falling in your neighborhoods. There has been for the past 24 hours, so you're going to see that continue. There could potentially be embers falling as well, and that's where we grow very concerned. So we ask the public to be aware and vigilant of that. If they see fire starting in places, report them to 911 immediately. We will come and deal with that. Our fire crews will be out tonight patrolling neighborhoods in order to address those issues as they happen. I mentioned earlier that we are out in the neighborhoods as a fire department. West Kelowna Fire Rescue is on the ground. We also have a night shift coming from fire departments across the region who have all provided trucks and man-person power for us on the ground, so they will be out and about. I'm happy to report that all of the critical infrastructure in the Rose Valley neighborhood has been protected, and that's because of the hard work of the BC Wildfire Service, the structural fire departments who have been supported by the province from around the region. We placed fire sprinklers at the Rose Valley Dam, at the Rose Valley Chlorinator, which is important to our drinking water in the community. Fire sprinklers were placed on the fire hall in Rose Valley. Obviously, that's very important to me to protect. They were placed on Rose Valley Elementary School, a critical piece of infrastructure to our community. And also an all-out effort was mounted to protect the new Rose Valley water treatment plant. That is a very critical and important asset to our community that our firefighters have protected tonight. I mentioned we have close to 1,000 homes on evacuation order. Represents about 2,500 people. and close to 6,000 remain on evacuation alert. I want to thank the public for their cooperation. We don't take this lightly. It is very serious to us placing someone on evacuation alert or order, but I want to thank the public for their cooperation. The evacuation so far has been orderly. People have been listening, and we're going to do our best to deal with this and get people back into their homes as quickly as possible. It's likely the evacuation order area will grow tonight. I don't want people to panic, but I also want people to take it seriously. If you haven't been evacuated yet and you are in an alert area, you need to prepare. So gather things together that you need to bring with you. Have a plan with your family and be ready to go on short notice. We've received incredible support from the air today, despite ground crews being pulled off the fire. Our partners from BC Wildfire have provided a ton of air support, but as of now, with the sun setting, that air support is going to end and the fire will burn tonight, largely out of our control. So we'll be watching closely, but we remain at the mercy of the wind. So I want to thank all of our partners, the Wildfire Service, the RCMP, all of the staff that's working at the Emergency Operations Center to support this. Make sure people are fed, make sure that the media is informed and the public is kept up to date. I mentioned tonight is about monitoring the fire and being in the neighborhoods. Tomorrow is a whole new day, and we expect this fire will be much larger tomorrow morning when we get our next update. The cause of the fire remains under investigation. So I want to pass it over to Jason from our ESS program, who will speak about services for the evacuees, and we'll all be available for questions afterwards.
Thank you, Chief. My name is Jason Bedell. I'm the Emergency Support Services Supervisor for Kelowna Fire Department. I'd like to reassure the evacuees and those affected by this wildfire that our ESS volunteers have been activated and are there to support you. We do ask those on evacuation alert and order to self-register, pre-register at ess.gov.bc.ca. It really does help us streamline the process. Our ESS volunteers are set up at an information centre at Royal LePage Place, which is 2760 Cameron Road. We are asking people to connect with their friends and families in an attempt to find places for them to go. Our resources are finite and we are there to support you, but if you can help by finding family and friends to stay with, that again really does help us as we manage this incident. We are looking at the introduction of a group lodging facility somewhere in West Kelowna. People that do not have a place to go with families and friends are asked to attend the information centre to find out more information. People should also please be following courtemergency.ca to find the most latest up-to-date information. Thank you. I'll pass it now to Mayor Milsom. Yep, it's B-E-D-E-L-L.
Hello everyone, it's good to see you. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Gord Milsom. I'm the Mayor of the City of West Kelowna. And I'm going to share some notes that were prepared kindly by my staff. I was out of town myself for some family time, but arrived back around 4 o'clock this afternoon. First and most importantly, we're asking our community to stay safe and out of harm's way with the wildfire. The winds are swift and the fire is moving quickly. Safety is our top priority. Residents should be prepared to be away from their home for an extended period of time in the areas of the McDougall Creek wildfire. If you are in an evacuation order area, you must leave the area immediately. Failing to leave when asked by emergency services put you and others at risk. Thank you for doing your part to keep yourself and those affected by the wildfire safe. We're working together and we need your help. Follow any designated routes specified by emergency officials and avoid shortcuts as they could lead to a blocked or dangerous area. For those on evacuation order, pack your emergency kit and follow the directions to the information center located at Royal LePage Place at West Kelowna, at 2760 Cameron Road. Look for the signs identifying the McDougall Creek Wildfire Information Center. Information will be provided to evacuees on emergency support services like temporary lodging, food, clothing, and incidentals. It's important to attend the information center so that you can Be registered to receive alerts and other information related to your circumstance. I also want to remind everyone to reach out to their out-of-area emergency contact to let them know what has happened and that you're all right and how to contact you. For those that are on an evacuation alert, pack your emergency kit and please get your family ready to evacuate if necessary. Our community is resilient, and we thank every one of you for following the alerts and orders. We have cleared our roads that have construction activity to ensure traffic has access through West Kelowna. That includes West Lake Road, Shannon Lake Road, and Boucherie Road. And crews have been doing all they can to protect the Rose Valley Water Treatment Plant and the Fowers Creek Water Treatment Plant. And BC Hydro continues to monitor the single transmission power line. Our staff and council is here to help with questions along with the ESS team. So please contact us or come to Royal LePage Place if you're evacuated. Again, thank you for adhering to the orders and stay safe. We'll have ongoing updates together with the EOC over the next number of hours and days. Now I'd like to introduce Westbank First Nations Chief Robert Louis.
Thank you, Mayor Milson. This is indeed a very serious situation. We're working in unison from the Westbank First Nation and the Kelowna municipality on the west side here to make sure that people are looked after and are safe. This is a very dire, very serious situation. There is no question about the intent of where this fire seems to be going. It is under out of control. So we're working in unison with the regional district, with Mayor Milsom and the Westside community to make sure that we work together. So Westbank First Nation is and has opened its doors to facilities with our gymnasium for evacuees, and we are looking to provide food and support whatever we can. So we are working in unison. So this is a very good complementary showing of municipal and First Nation support, and that's what's happening right now. This is the dire situation. There's over 1,000 people that have been evacuated right now, and there's a lot of potential damage that could occur if these winds change. We're totally, right now, in my opinion, dependent upon the winds. Right now, they're in our favor. They could change any moment. So we're monitoring that. We're working with the people here. We are very thankful to the fire chief right now and the district. We're working in very significant harmonious relationships to make sure that anything we can do is supported. So you have our commitment from the Westbank First Nation. We're going to be very supportive. We're going to stand behind all the evacuees and do what we can to support this thing. We're standing behind. We're congratulating the hard efforts of all of the firefighters that are working. This is a very significant situation that could complement the 2003 fire that happened in Kelowna. That's how serious this is. So all the best wishes I give to everyone that's working, and we stand behind all the firefighters, all of the people here. We'll stand behind whatever we can do as a Westbank First Nation to support. So we give you our support, and we hope for the very, very best. We pray to the Creator that this will be a situation that we'll overcome. So how do we overcome that together? So let them know.
Thank you, Chief Louis, and thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd also like to acknowledge that RCMP Inspector Rob Picola is here with us. He'll be available for your questions as well. The work of the RCMP to knock on every door that I asked to be evacuated is nothing short of amazing, and I'm very grateful, Inspector, for that work. So we're happy to take your questions. If you want to just identify which party you'd like to speak to and ask your question, we're happy to answer to the best of our ability.
Yeah, thank you. I have some questions about the West Kelowna Road, the main road out there. Do you have RCMP there helping to direct traffic? I know that road see a lot of accidents.
Yes, thank you. So on the roads that we have, anywhere where there's the evacuation order, we do have rolling patrols right now, as well as we have members attending to, like I said, door to door, as was said already. They are blocking the roads off at this point, but it's not just them. We are utilizing some city workers to help with that task, as well as we have our members that are doing door to door. They do have the search and rescue volunteers helping them as well with that. So huge effort. And yes, the roads, we are, once we evacuate the area, we basically put a block in there so we don't get anybody in there. And we will have patrols done throughout the evening and days to come.
Maybe Lord Pastor Matt, Chief Rowland, earlier today the fire that was 2 to 4 kilometers away from structures. Can you kind of give us a sense of how close to the community it is now and which direction the fire seems to be heading at this moment?
Yeah, the winds from the southwest are driving the fire in a northeast direction. So the fire is growing towards the Bear Creek, Rose Valley, Traders Cove, West Side Road area, as evidenced by the evacuation orders that we are layering on kind of one at a time here in order to facilitate an orderly evacuation. The nearest homes, I think, we're much closer now in the Rose Valley and Bartley Road. I think there's some agricultural properties up there that we're in the backyards now. But these are remote properties, cabins that we fully expected the fire would travel there first. Obviously take what actions we can that are safe to protect those properties. In terms of the main populated area, the subdivisions where the majority of our population resides, we're likely still in that 2 to 4 kilometer radius, just depending on where the fire does come down the hill into the communities. Obviously, it's covering a very wide area.
Kind of what are you expecting tomorrow and
So tomorrow's going to be cooler, which is positive. That I hope brings a bit of a reprieve. But we are expecting the winds to continue. I expect that around dawn, the wind is going to shift to the alternate direction, which won't necessarily help us. It will just drive the fire in another direction. And we've got all of the planning in place for when that happens. So I expect the winds will last into the afternoon tomorrow. But hopefully a cooler day will prevail, the winds will die down, and we can begin to settle this. This is going to go on for a while. But we are going to do our best to make sure that people being out of their homes doesn't, as soon as it's safe.
I spoke to some people today, and they were saying, we're not really sure, we're under alert, we're not sure if we should be leaving right yet or packing up, and they're just unsure. What's your message to people who are questioning that?
Well, that we don't take placing someone on evacuation alert or order lightly. We will always do our best to give people notice, and that's in the form of an evacuation alert. That is our message to them. Get ready, talk to your family, gather your grab and go kit, get your passport, your medications, all of these things, your family plan. I know my staff had that conversation with their families last night. I did with my wife and daughter, and I hope that all of those from the public that are on evacuation alert are doing the same thing out there. When an order comes in place, it doesn't mean when you get around to it. It means we need you out of your home. We need you out of your home because we need the roadways cleared. We can't be devoting resources to rescuing people who choose not to leave and taking them away from protecting critical infrastructure or your neighbor's house, maybe. So, it's the public here knows it. We've done this for like 20 years. And it's just as important today as it was then. So I appreciate that today's been a very trying day, but it's been a very orderly evacuation so far, and I'm grateful for that. We will continue to do our best to manage this in an orderly way and not ask everyone to leave at once.
Reggie, the blaze appears to have kind of crested the Diggle Rim, like the ridge. I know we've got reports of physical flames heading over that way. Are you able to confirm that at all?
Yes. Yeah, the fire definitely is visible from Rose Valley, cresting the rim at the reservoir. There's been a fire there in the past, a number of fires in the past, and these are some of the factors that we're counting on to help us out with this. As I mentioned earlier, the fire will be dramatic. You know, the flames were visible from across the lake in the city of Kelowna. Once darkness falls tonight, the whole sky is going to light up. The fire is going to look a lot closer than it actually is for people. So I want the public to be aware of that. You know, that doesn't mean that things aren't going well. It just means that what you couldn't see during the light of day, we will see at night.
Do you anticipate the Rose Valley Reservoir to be helpful in this though?
It's certainly a natural barrier for us. What I'm more concerned about is embers spotting across the reservoir onto the next ridge, and we've seen the fire doing that in places. That's what we're on the lookout for. And you know, people may scratch their heads like, why are we on evacuation order? We're so far away. But the ember transfer in these events and these winds can be very, very significant.
Are you still observing rank 4 fire behavior? Is that still as expected, or has that changed?
It has changed, yeah. We've seen rank 5 fire behavior earlier this afternoon and throughout the afternoon. You know, that will change depending on the fuel that the fire is burning in. But, you know, as evidenced by what we all saw there, the number of aircraft on this fire is just is incredible, and the support we're getting from the Wildfire Service is making a difference out there.
Do we have a number on the aircraft?